What if I told you that your engine might be dying? Not because it's old, but because of what you're doing to it every single day. No warning lights, no strange noises, just silent damage that builds up mile after mile, until one day, boom, your car's toast. These are the 10 dumb habits that destroy your engine from the inside out. And here's the kicker. Even experienced drivers are guilty of number 7. If you want to save thousands in repairs and double your engine's life, you'll want to watch every second of this video. Let's dive in. 1. Revving the engine. When it's cold, imagine waking up and being forced to run a marathon without stretching. That's what happens when you rev your engine right after starting it cold. Oil needs time to circulate, about 30 to 60 seconds, especially in the winter. When you rev the engine cold, metal parts grind with minimal lubrication, causing premature wear to pistons, bearings, and camshafts. Smart drivers, they start the engine, let it idle for 30 seconds, and drive gently until the engine reaches operating temperature. 2. Ignoring the oil change interval. Yes, we've heard it all. I use synthetic oil, so I can go 10,000 miles easy. Maybe, but that's not always wise. Even synthetic oil breaks down over time, especially in older engines or stop-and-go driving. Neglecting oil changes leads to sludge buildup, low oil pressure, and eventually worn-out piston rings and seized camshafts. The golden rule for engine longevity: change oil every 5,000 miles unless your manufacturer explicitly says otherwise, and use high-quality oil and filters. 3. Running on low or dirty oil. You wouldn't run a marathon dehydrated, so why would you drive with low oil? Low oil means less lubrication and more heat, a deadly combo for engines. Dirty oil? It turns abrasive, grinding away at your engine's lifeblood. Check your dipstick monthly. Top off with the same grade. If the oil is black, gritty, or smells burnt, it's time to change it, no matter what the mileage says. 4. Using cheap or incorrect fuel. Putting 87 octane into a car designed for 91 can lead to knocking, poor performance, and carbon buildup over time. It's not just a horsepower issue, it's an engine health issue. On the flip side, using premium fuel in a car designed for regular doesn't boost performance. It wastes money. Read the manual, use the right octane, and avoid no-name gas stations with questionable fuel storage practices. Contaminated or low-quality fuel can wreck injectors and cause misfires. 5. Skipping air filter replacements. Engines need air, clean air. A clogged or dirty air filter reduces airflow, causing rich fuel mixtures that wear down spark plugs, reduce mileage, and trigger check engine lights. A restricted air filter also forces the engine to work harder, increasing combustion chamber temperatures and damaging valves or pistons over time. Inspect the filter every 10,000 miles. Replace it if it's dirty. It's a $15 part that can save you thousands. 6. Resting your foot on the clutch pedal. For manual drivers, this one's brutal. Resting your foot on the clutch applies constant pressure to the throw-out bearing and pressure plate, causing premature wear. Over time, this burns out the clutch, leading to slipping, poor power delivery, and a potential $1,200 plus replacement bill. Smart drivers keep their foot off the clutch unless shifting. It's a simple habit that preserves one of your car's most expensive wear items. 7. Letting the fuel run below 1/4 tank. Here's a habit 90% of drivers do and never think about. Running your car near empty can overheat your fuel pump, which is cooled by the gasoline in the tank. Worse, sediment and debris sitting at the bottom of your fuel tank get sucked into the system, clogging filters and damaging injectors. A new fuel pump can cost up to $1,000 with labor. The fix: keep the tank at least 1/4 full at all times. It's an underrated way to protect your entire fuel system. 8. Overloading the vehicle constantly. Hauling heavy loads on a regular basis without upgrading suspension or checking load ratings puts enormous strain on your engine, brakes, and transmission. Engines have to work harder, heat builds up faster, oil breaks down quicker, and cooling systems are overburdened. Whether you're towing or just treating your sedan like a moving truck, check your payload capacity. And if you haul often, consider transmission coolers or stiffer suspension upgrades. 9. Delaying the timing belt or chain replacement. Here's something that can destroy your engine in a split second. Most cars have a timing belt or chain that keeps the crankshaft and camshaft synchronized. When it fails, especially in interference engines, it can cause pistons and valves to collide. The result: bent valves, destroyed heads, and in many cases, a total engine loss. Timing belts usually need replacement between 60,000 and 100,000 miles. If your manual mentions it, don't delay. It's one of the most preventable catastrophic failures. Chains can last longer, but not forever. If you hear rattling or slapping noises from the front of the engine, or see a check engine light with cam crankshaft codes, don't ignore it. Want to avoid a $3,000 engine repair? Pay attention to that timing component before it becomes a ticking time bomb. 10. Using the wrong engine coolant, or mixing them. Coolant isn't just coolant. Using the wrong type, or worse, mixing incompatible types, can cause internal corrosion, clog cooling passages, and destroy the water pump or radiator. Orange, Dex Cool. Green, pink, blue. Yes, they're all different formulations. They're designed for different metals and materials inside your engine. Mixing coolant types? That can create sludge or gelling, choking your system and overheating the engine. Always check your manual. Use the correct coolant type and flush it every 3 to 5 years. It's one of the most ignored systems until steam pours from the hood. And remember, coolant breakdown leads to overheating, which leads to warped heads, blown head gaskets, and more. Bonus tip: using tap water in your radiator. Let's make one thing clear: tap water is not radiator fluid. Using regular hose or sink water introduces minerals, calcium, and corrosion into your cooling system. Over time, it coats internal surfaces, clogging radiator cores and reducing efficiency. Only use distilled water if you're mixing your own coolant, or buy pre-mixed coolant to play it safe. Veteran mechanics will tell you some of the worst overheating issues come from improper coolant mixtures or using tap water. How these habits quietly kill your engine. Here's the kicker: none of these habits kill your engine instantly. They wear it down quietly. It starts with poor fuel economy, then sluggish acceleration, then oil consumption, then metal-on-metal wear, until one day your engine gives out and you're stuck on the side of the highway wondering what happened. By then it's too late. Smart drivers break these habits early, and they make one shift at a time until their maintenance habits become second nature. Ask any car enthusiast who's crossed 300,000 miles on the original engine, and they'll tell you engine longevity is all about habits. These are people who let their car warm up, use the right oil, and change it religiously. Don't cheap out on parts. Keep fluid levels in check. Know how their engine sounds, and act when something feels off. Modern engines can absolutely last 400,000 to 500,000 miles, but not if abused daily. An engine rebuild can cost $4,000 to $8,000 depending on the make. Let that sink in. Or you could spend $40 on quality oil and a filter every 5,000 miles, $30 on an air filter annually, $50 on a coolant flush every 3 years, and $100 on fuel system cleaners or additives every 6 months. Over 5 years, you might spend $1,000 on preventive care. That's a 7x savings over a rebuild. Would you rather protect your engine with $200 a year or wait for a catastrophic bill that could force you to scrap the whole car? Now that you know these engine-killing habits, here's a challenge. Go check your car right now. Pop the hood. Check your oil, your coolant color, your air filter. Then comment below. How many of these 10 habits have I been guilty of? Be honest. We've all been there. But today is the day that changes. And if you've already broken these habits and your engine's going strong, share your mileage. Let's prove that smart drivers do exist in the comments.